Hey y'all, meteorologist Sydney Goldberg here from the First Alert Desk, and it's Tuesday, and check this out. It's a really nice start to this Tuesday. This is our live look on our Sky 9 camera over False River on this Tuesday, and we have blue skies, not a single cloud in this sky camera view. But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's really not going to be much change today compared to yesterday. It's still going to be warm and a mainly dry day. So temperatures right now, right around the 11 o'clock hour, upper 80s here at the Baton Rouge Metro Airport, 86 here in Baton Rouge, we're 86 here in Hammond, 86 in Gonzales, 88 though in Bogalusa, 84 down in Houma. So yes, another warm day. In fact, temperature-wise, very similar to yesterday. Temperatures through the afternoon should top out in those low 90s, and it'll be a mainly dry day. The only difference compared to yesterday for this Tuesday is a slightly higher chance for rain through the afternoon, and it's very isolated through the afternoon, early evening. Otherwise, most places are going to stay dry, and then also very cool, very slow to cool down once we get into the evening, and the sun sets will still be in those upper 70s. So I'll show you the slight chance of rain through the afternoon on the model here. Here's the graph model. Once we get into the afternoon, after lunchtime, it starts to pop up just a few isolated showers and storms possible. Here's 2 o'clock, and that really remains the story right on through 5 o'clock as well. Very spotty in nature. Not everyone is going to see a shower or get underneath one today. And then anything that does develop through the afternoon should quickly dissipate. So here's later in the evening, maybe we see just 1 or 2 lingering, but for the most part, things will start to quiet down as we go into the overnight hours, and it will keep it dry right on to start tomorrow morning. And really, that's going to remain the story. Tomorrow, again, an isolated chance for rain. We'll go dry Thursday and Friday, and then that rain chance will reappear by the weekend. But again, very isolated, mainly dry days ahead. Check this out. First day of fall, next Monday, September 22nd. Will we feel like fall though? Unfortunately, the answer is no. We're going to keep it warm. Here's the temperature trend through the next 7 days. Low 90s tomorrow, low 90s the day after that. In fact, we're actually running a good bit above normal for this time of year, so we're feeling like fall. Well, no, we're above normal. Temperatures running anywhere from 3 to 5 degrees above our average for September. That's usually into the upper 80s, so that's still warm for us here in South Louisiana, but we'd rather feel closer to our average, and I know we'd rather feel like fall. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case this week. In fact, we actually have a bit of a heat index that's popping up through the next 7 days, so our actual temperatures in the low 90s, but through the afternoon feel more like the mid to even upper 90s by Friday, 97. We won't get into the triple digits, but it'll still be quite warm through the afternoon. So how about for the rest of September? We're starting fall next Monday. Will we get some cold fronts, maybe help bring the temperature down? Well, unfortunately, that answer is also no. 8 to 14 temperature outlook. This is from the Climate Prediction Center. This is just a probabilistic outlook, so not necessarily the darker reds are where the higher temperatures are, because that's not the case, certainly, but the probabilities of above normal temperatures through the end of September is very likely. So it looks like we're not going to see the fall cool down that we want quite yet. Other things to track is the tropics. We're still into the peak of hurricane season. There's 2 areas now that we're keeping our eye on. This one right here is going to be what's likely going to be the next depression. There's also a tropical wave right behind it that's emerging off of the African coast. So this is the latest outlook from the National Hurricane Center. This came out at 7 a.m. We'll get another one this afternoon. That'll come out at 1 p.m. our time. So the first one that is highlighted for a high chance of development through the next 2 days. We'll likely see this become a depression. I wouldn't be surprised if it were by tomorrow or in the next couple of days. Then there's one right behind it that's highlighted for a low chance of development. And so the question is this going to develop into a tropical storm? What is this going to look like in the long term? Well, if it does develop into a tropical storm, which models are hinting at that we will see that, it'll get the next name on the list. That's the G name. That's Gabrielle. The one behind that is Umberto. So we still have a lot of names to go. Hopefully we don't check them all off. So the next question is, where will it go? If it does develop, well, computer models, here's the latest spaghetti models, are all in consensus that it'll take that recurving right back into the Atlantic. That's what we like to see. The one behind it is still way too far out, but it looks like it'll also take a similar track to the north and west, heading towards the Leeward Islands. Until then, it's just going to be something to monitor as we're still into the peak of hurricane season. Unfortunately, we haven't had too many named storms yet. But the next one is the G name. Back here at home, though, I know we all wish it were fall. Even though it starts next week, we're dealing with the heat. And in fact, above normal heat into the low 90s for the rest of the 7-day forecast, and also a mainly dry 7-day forecast. We'll have isolated showers here and there. Onto the weekend, though, it'll just be warm and some pretty normal starts to the morning in those upper 60s to low 70s. All right, Jeff Morrow will have more for you on the rest of the day as well as the work week, and of course the latest on the tropics all for you on the noon show right here on WAFB.